I'm back again. I'm going to try to make these short, all right? Because I'm finding I keep forgetting pieces of these stories, like this Abigail, Abigail, all right? Okay. These are these fish gods that we're talking about. Do you know that this is why the miters on the tops of the guys in the Catholics, the miter box looks like a fish, a little fish face or fish head. But anyways, that's because it represents a messenger of God. Okay, because this is where you would find it. See those? Remember those guys that come out of the sea? Everything that comes out of the seas in this here is a meditation story where it's coming from the sea when the monster coming out of the sea. And remember now, there's some of these monsters got a foot on land and a foot on the water. All right, that's a divided place, but they want them all to be together. Toss your nets over to the right side of the boat, and you're going to pull up fish. All right. So when we toss our nets over to the right side, that means we have to put the left side asleep. And when that happens, does the Kundalini system and the female parts of the body come to life? The Kundalini. This is the sleeping serpent. And in these stories here, this is where the water rises, and in the stories, that it's to put out the land, it's to clean and clear the land of all of its problems. And that's what we get in this type of meditation. And, but it's, as we go, what we get at those fish now, these fish, they all have the little cone, all right, which represent our pineal gland. The pineal gland is representing the pathway within us, the pathway, the way of Jesus, following after Jesus. This is the pathway, this inner pathway, the middle, in the midst, everything is in the midst, and what's inside of us. All these stories are about in the inside of us. That's why they look so interesting. It's just so pretty cool. So this part here is showing the two different sides. Later on they become the two different trees. There's a tree for the outside of us, and then there's a tree for the inside of us. And the one on the it only can go so far. The outside guy, because it's the skin. We have to shed the skin. We have to get rid of father in order to, to bring on the girls. So anyways, I was always wondering how it is that girls are always associated with fish, but it's a female energy. And this fish represents food, and this kind of food in this situation is the truth. Truth. This is how it works. All right. So there are 7 sages. Oh, didn't you know that? For the chakra system, these are the 7 sages. And they're in the water because this is where the water comes from. Is when you go into meditation, you're separating from the land. And in these stories, this is when the hell breaks loose, when heaven and earth become separated, because mother brings in all kinds of hell on top of things. They're going to fix stuff. That's the whole point of this, is to let the girls clean house. That's the way it is, And it's an energy that even like, what's that girl? Sheba or whatever. The dancing one that's out there in front of CERN. This is Sheba. I guess that's a... This is this female side of God that she shows up and she kicks ass and she changes things. That's the whole point. That's her job, and you just think, oh, I believe in Jesus and that's enough. No, you got to set these things free inside of us. They don't spend all this time creating these effigies and images and stuff like that just to serve the devil with, It's to give you an idea, a little visual of something. But now everyone's looking for white Christs and stuff like that, and all the colors are all mixed up with people because you're not supposed to put anything to them. But didn't we? That's how it works. So, so these guys, there are 7 of them. So they represent. This is where we get our information from. It's from when people would meditate. How did people learn things? Well, this idea somehow or another they were taught. That's what these stories talk about. The Enki was created by the gods to come down to teach Gilgamesh how to, Gilgamesh is some king, some humility. All right. So this idea is, you got to humble these guys, and everything will be fine. They become best of friends. And then when he dies, when he loses him, he says, "What am I going to do? Inky do, Inky do." So there's plenty more stories to talk about to bring in the Sumerian side of our reality. But I was just wanting to let you know that these fish, they come up out of the ocean. All of this information comes because when we let go of the land, when we let go of the land, we're now out in the water, and this is like Jonah being swallowed by a fish. So you have to think about him. He didn't die, but he's down there for his 3 days or 3 nights and stuff, and this. It's being a vessel he's being consumed by, and then it's throws him back up onto the shore when it's had its time with him. So now go and do your business. So you'd see that these stories they all match. Every one of it's not like that. Oh, it's because it's coincidence. So it's more than a coincidence. They have to match. They contain a really beautiful treasure inside of them. If you were able to find that, then you've been given yourself. The biggest treasure of it all is winning your own self back, So anyhow, so ABGAL are the 7 stages, all right, the 7 stages. And we have this, the ABSU, Apsu, the god of fresh water, sweet waters of the world. He encircled the earth and merged his fresh water with the salt water of the consort. He merged the 2 waters together. And from this union, all the other gods are born. And he killed by his son, Ea. All right, so Apsu comes first. It's a water god. And he is killed by his son, Ea. All right, now this is another connection. Ea, the water god. This is the Babylonian water god. So he'd say, who is this? Well, this is John the Baptist. That's who that is. The next water god. It gets handed down to all these different people, but that's who that is. All right. When you interpret the name comes to John. So he's the new water god. So in here, his name is Ea, and that also represents who, right? What's this guy's name? The main dude, Enki. That's who it is. Enki is Ea. All right, we know how important it is. This is the water side of things, and the idea that when we have to get naked, we have to take off our clothes. Well, this is going through the second phase of consciousness when you're going through water, when we are taking our clothes. And by the time we finally have Father laid to rest and quietly, he is this corpse that then the little seed inside can pop out and go up and bring Mother to life, and then they work together, and there's some kind of things where you got this frequencies of delta frequency being used as some kind of a light source or some kind of a cleansing device that takes care of you, but you're asleep, you're not there. This is all taking place inside of you. And all of these stories and all these beautiful different religions are all leading us to that place. If only you could close your eyes and imagine the spiritual side of our body. It's absolutely beautiful. All right, so this is about the fish, and I got more things to tell you about. It's cool stuff. All right, so those fish gods that tell people about things. This is how you go in. It's the meditation. This is just like the shamans. How did you know how to make this piece of medicine? I said, well, the plants talk to us. So they say, oh, DNA to DNA. Well, somehow or another, they hooked up. Somehow or another, they were able to bring back some cool information and share with the world. And that's what I'm doing with you. This is the coolest information in the uh, uh, in our spiritual growth. This is the coolest stuff on earth. It is a weave. It is the absolute weave of the universe. It's absolute. All right. I love y'all. I'll see you later.